budget by cutting government spending and lowering taxes at the same time. Governor Heineman has been a strong leader for Nebraska, publicly fighting against the health care bill that will result in higher costs, less freedom, and lower quality care. Governor Heineman has displayed the type of leadership conservatives want. And again, we're happy to hear him today. So, ladies and gentlemen, Governor Heineman.
I got to get this down here to my level. Let me start by saying thank you for being here tonight. This is what America is all about. And I love your sign, stop Ben before he spends again. You know, I just want to take a few minutes. I thought maybe I was going to get here. I've been up in Omaha and Sarpy County. I thought by the time I got here it was going to be raining or whatever, but looks like we got a little bit of time. But I just want to share with you in contrast for a moment what we're doing here in Nebraska compared to the rest of the country, and particularly compared to the federal government. What we have tried to do the last 5 years that I've been governor, if we're going to create jobs and we're going to move Nebraska forward, you've got to control your spending, you've got to lower taxes. Three years ago, we gave Nebraska the largest tax relief package in the history of this state. We eliminated the estate tax, repealed the marriage penalty in the income tax system, got rid of the sales tax on construction labor, and lowered income taxes. And it's made a difference. But we still have more work to do. Even though we made progress, I keep reminding everybody, we need to drive taxes even lower in our state. And one of the keys to do that is you've got to control your spending. And that's what we've been able to do. I've worked closely with the legislature. I made it very, very clear. For example, we had a special session in November. And I told them from day one when they came in, taxes were off limits. We were going to cut spending to take care of our $335 million revenue shortfall, and that's exactly what we did. We were there 12 days, we cut spending, we didn't raise a single tax, and it was a unanimous vote. That is clearly something the federal government needs to understand, and they ought to model what we do here in Nebraska. Now, we're not immune to this national economic slowdown, but we put ourselves in a position that we can weather these financial challenges. We have the second lowest unemployment rate because we've put together a more business-friendly and tax-friendly state so local businesses can expand, and we've been able to attract other businesses from other states. And so I'm proud of where we're at here in Nebraska. We have more work to do. We're going to get that done over the next few years. But let me take a moment and contrast that with the federal government. They can't balance their budget. They spend too much money. They tax us too much. And there's too much regulation.
We've got two wars to deal with.
I don't think there's ever been a time in the history of America that we've seen the federal government more involved in almost every aspect of what's occurring. Healthcare, energy, finances, you just go on and on. We've got an administration and a Congress who wants to control everything. And that's a huge mistake. Nowhere is that more exemplified than what they did with the health care legislation that they passed. The American people don't support it. Nebraskans don't support it. I've seen 4 different surveys here in our state by a wide margin, 65 to about 25%. We oppose this bill. We oppose this. It's the number one issue I get asked most about now. Our citizens, particularly those who have health care, or nervous, what does it mean? Am I going to lose my health care? Am I going to be able to go to the doctor that I go to right now? And look what happened in that bill. They're going to raise taxes, cut Medicare, and your premiums are going to continue to go up. And during the course of that debate, look what happened with the 58th, 59th, and 60th votes. Basically, it was, what does it take to get your vote? And we ended up with the Cornhusker kickback, Louisiana Purchase, Florida Gatorade, and a whole bunch of special interest legislation there that we don't need. And the question that I've asked citizens all across our state and all across America every time that I get the chance, if this bill was so good, why did it take so many special deals to get it passed? And the answer is it couldn't stand on its own merits. Now, I want you to know, and I've heard this from other governors and people across America, this is something you ought to be very, very proud of, because this reflects our state. Senator Nelson thought he got a special deal for Nebraska with that Cornhusker kickback. And we stood up and said, no, we don't want it. That you can take your money and shove it. And I've had other governors say, you must have really an extraordinary group of people in Nebraska because you're willing to say no to that special deal because it violated our integrity and our ethics. No. In Nebraska, all we ask is to be treated fairly and equally. We didn't want a special deal. And so I want you to know I'm proud of you and I'm proud of our state that we were willing to stand up and say no to that special deal, because that's not what's right. That's not what America wants. And so now our Attorney General has joined, I think now, with 19 other states. 20 states are going to go to court to see if we can get this overturned. So I just want to tell you, with your continued support, we can move forward. We're going to do what's right here in Nebraska, and we need to keep sending a message to Washington, D.C. Quit spending, quit raising taxes, listen to the American people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Governor Heineman. We got two last pieces coming up for you. We would like to close this evening with Reverend Matthew Cummings to come up and close with the benediction and also some closing remarks. So